Hi, and welcome to the session of Benelux Cloud Adventures. My name is Nina, and today we'll be talking to Neo, the first and the only company in the Netherlands offering information services to detect changes in our living environment. Neo specializes in Earth observation services, change detections, and have been on the market for 25 years. In particular, we'll be talking about how Neo did the inventory of the exact location of the stems of 100 million trees in the Netherlands as the part of their tree monitoring project. It's my pleasure to present to you today Emile, Earth observation and geomatic specialist with Neo, who would be telling us more about Neo and the specific project of trees monitoring. Welcome, Emile.
Thanks for having me, Nina. Yeah, so NEO is indeed a Earth observation company. We aim to give our customers insight in not only the detected change, but also what to do with this change. We call this a call to action, so that the clients exactly know what to do.
Perfect. And Emile, you have been doing image processing on-premise for 25 years. What was your motivation to consider and to do this on AWS?
Yeah, well, actually, we worked mostly on small-scale, tailor-made projects before, and we actually changed to a more larger approach to really go to the entire Netherlands, but we could even do more. But for this, we needed to either upscale locally with a local infrastructure, or we could use the cloud. And we actually opted for the cloud because this is, of course, highly scalable and efficient.
Okay, perfect. And what are the specific benefits for your customers in addition to the ability to scale?
Yeah, you can imagine that we're in an era where there's more and more satellites coming, and this really increases the amount of data available as well. And we really want to provide our customers with the most up-to-date information as possible. And for this, we really need the efficiency of a cloud solution.
Okay, make total sense. And what are other use cases that you see with your customers?
So let me give an example of a use case. When a farmer farms, initially plants a so-called cash crop. So the crop that's most valuable and that earns him his money.
Cash crop.
Yeah, a cash crop. But afterwards, he doesn't let the agricultural field be barren, because that would be bad for soil erosion, which causes land degradation, of course. So he, or actually the EU, started an initiative where they promoted the planting of so-called cover crops. And for this planting of cover crops, they get a subsidy. And we can control whether they are actually planting those cover crops.
That's an amazing use case. Thank you so much for sharing this. And Emile, how did your business model change over the 25 years?
Yeah, so we initially started with small-scale projects and really tailor-made on our clients. But it's actually more efficient to do it more on a service-based.
Okay.
Because you can imagine that, for example, the trees are not only interesting for municipalities or provinces, but also for other clients. And it doesn't make sense to recreate this data for each project. So therefore, we proactively try to detect these changes and sell them to multiple customers. So that's really a change in our business strategy.
So just to make sure I understood you, within 25 years, you moved from the project-based business model towards SaaS model, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And Emile, could you tell me a bit more about the tree monitoring project?
Yeah, so NEO is already monitoring trees for more than 5 years. But this was actually an additional step. So we really wanted to know the exact location of every stem of all 100 million trees in the Netherlands.
Wow, 100 million trees.
Yeah. And this really, and we don't want to do it once, but we want to do it multiple times as well. So therefore, we really need it. And it's of course a really big data source as well. We're talking about, I don't even know how big.
I can imagine
it's a lot. That's important to know. And the thing is, we just couldn't do this locally without without delays. And
it's unscalable, right?
It's unscalable.
Yeah, makes sense.
And this is really why we need the cloud solution for this. And this way we were able to create an efficient and scalable workflow that could be repeated multiple times to really make sure that the stem positions that we have are up to date and are recent and not like outdated already.
And do you constantly enrich the data of STEM's positions?
Yes. So of course the technology is improving all times. So we sometimes get new data sources, so we can adapt the workflow to also incorporate those data sources, so that we really improve our product over time as well. So the important keywords here are like repeatability. So we're able to repeat our workflows, and efficiency, and make sure that the data latency is as little as possible. So we really get an image from yesterday will be processed today, and we can work with it tomorrow. It's really that time scale.
Wow, that's really nice. And what were the results of this project?
So we eventually managed to pinpoint the exact location of every tree stem in the Netherlands.
All 100 million trees.
All 100 million trees in the Netherlands.
Okay, that's very impressive.
Which we could then use in every project that we were interested in. Because there's of course clients that are interested in those stem positions in the trees, but we are ourselves also interested in the trees. But because trees are in fact very variable objects, so they change throughout time. Yeah, you can imagine it getting fall, the leaves are falling. And if we're doing a change detection, which is really at the core business of Neo, you can probably detect those changes. But those are not interesting changes to us, because the changing of trees and the falling of leaves and everything, that's just nature. And that is something that no client will be willing to pay us for. And it's called a lot of noise in our algorithms and in our workflows. So therefore, knowing the position of every tree in the Netherlands is really valuable to us, because we can use that to filter out the noise in our methods as well.
Okay, that's actually very interesting. Thank you so much. Emile, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers?
Yes, of course. So, well, I talked a lot about trees, and it's because I'm, of course, interested.
And I learned a lot about trees as well.
I'm glad.
Thank you for that.
But we also have other services. So you can find all of our services on our website. It's neo.nl. And there you can see more of what we're doing, because we can actually detect so many changes nowadays. It's really cool to see. And I'm sure that we have a solution for your problem if you have one. So feel free to contact us or get in touch, because we are always open for conversation.
Perfect. Will do. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing the information about the project and the successes you've had. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
I had great fun. It was my pleasure as well. Thanks.
You're welcome. And thanks everyone for joining in for this episode of Benelux Cloud Adventures. We will also have a technical episode where my colleague would be talking to the Neo technical specialist about the architecture that they used for doing the tree monitoring project. So stay tuned and see you soon.